Ooh, what's up, everybody? It is Monday night. Today is February 14th, more commonly known as Valentine's Day. And we are your open-minded mystics, all in reds, different shades. I love it because love comes in all different forms, you guys. Self-love is what we're talking about tonight. Today is episode 66, and what we're talking about is love yourself. Why is it that we are supposed to love ourselves, and that's the foundation of everything else, and why do we have such a hard time doing it? Well, we're going to discuss that tonight. My name is Donna V. I'm your host. This is Kim Mazzella, relationship coach and life docent. And as always, Tracy Locke. She is the voice of the audience. And you know what? You're the voice of the audience. So if you have anything that you want to add tonight or ask, please feel free to write a comment, send us a note, especially if you want to be heard or, you can be put up there. But if you don't, you can put that too and just let us know that you want it private. If you're watching from, of course, Facebook, welcome. Welcome back if it's you've been coming here all along. And if not, welcome if it's your first time. Please don't forget that we are live also on YouTube, and we'd love to build up our viewership there. So if you don't mind, just go on over, like, subscribe, and share. Ladies, welcome. How are you doing this evening?
Woo! Well, I'd like to say happy Valentine's Day to both of you gorgeous girls. And I would also like to say happy belated birthday to our own Miss Donna V.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
How was it? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I am so pumped. I am now 50. And I'm honestly feeling really great about it. I mean, I don't know. It's funny because there's normally fear that comes along with the 50s. But for some reason, I feel pretty fearless. I had a wonderful day with my family. And what's up, Kathy? How are you? Jessica's here. Nice to see you, Jess. Happy Heart Day. And I'm feeling like, honestly,
I can never do this.
Yeah, you just give it a little like.
Yours looks like a spider. Yours looks like a sleeping spider.
Yes. Hi. What's up, Angel?
What's up,
nice to see you.
Angel?
We have all our ladies here tonight. It's great, gentlemen. If you're here too, don't forget, say hello. We love it. Yes. And so tonight, big topic. Big topic. Loving yourself.
Let's get to it.
Wow, let's get down to it.
Yeah. I just want to mention, I love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. And Tracy, we really missed you last week. You were missed, but
I watched you guys and you did a bang up job. Thank you so much. It was awesome. It was so fun to watch it. It's so cool to obviously be in it. Hello, Rosario.
Hi, Rosario.
It's Open-Minded Mystics is a tribe. It's a sisterhood. It's a sister and brotherhood. It's an everyonehood. It's a community, I should say.
Yeah.
But it's really cool to see it from the outside. When I was watching you both, I was like, yeah, they are so great. They're so cool. So it's just, I'm thrilled to be back because you have no idea how I look forward to this every single week. It is like my solace. It's like a happy place where you just go, okay, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. And in this crazy world, it's not easy to find spaces like that. So when you find a space like that, stick with it. That's for all of you out there. Stick with it.
Stick with it.
Yes. Yes,
well,
absolutely.
The feedback that I got from last week was, wow, you guys are really raw and you were really, just down and dirty and talking about some serious stuff. And we were. And I think that people really appreciate the fact that we
went there.
Yeah, we went there. And that's what this is all about. So, I mean, if you're going to go there with any subject, I think tonight's subject is a subject to go there with. We have got so many people watching right now. I'm so appreciative. Let's just get into it. So, loving yourself. Kim Mazzella.
Well, it's so funny because I read this book called A Course in Miracles in like 700 pages, and pretty much 700 pages are all about loving yourself. But like the thing is that when you think about loving yourself, you think, oh yeah, I love myself. It is really hard to do because loving yourself means putting yourself, valuing yourself and seeing yourself as valuable. And most of us, if you really think about what you do during the day and what you value and what does valuing mean? Do you value yourself? Are you willing to put yourself first? And that is loving yourself. And it feels very selfish because most of what we've been taught about what selfish is wrong. We think that if I put myself first, I'm selfish. If I take care of my needs, I'm selfish. If I have needs, I'm selfish. I mean, I know that, especially if you're in a spiritual, like the spiritual communities sometimes can be really confused about what healing is. Because if you read A Course in Miracles, and actually there's this great guy, his name is Dr. Eric Pearl, and I actually had him on one of my shows years ago.
Wow. Okay.
I know. And
Writing it down.
he wrote a book called The Reconnection. And when I read a line in his book, and when I read that line, I was like, it was like, blew me away. He does a certain type of healing where he believes he like redoes your energy lines on the grid or something like that. It's really out there, but it's really cool. And it's all about healing. And what he said is, when he puts his hands on, it's like hands-on healing. When he puts his hands on that other person, what he does is he asks for healing for himself.
Wow.
Right. And so if you think about what Reiki is, or any type of healing, what's so great about Reiki, or what's so great about any type of healing, like energy healing, is the person who is doing the healing gets healed, right? So it's really about, I cannot give anything that I don't have, right? So if you can't give anything that you don't have, then really all loving has to start with loving yourself and putting yourself first and setting good boundaries, which is something that is so terrifying. And for me, I know that was like the hardest thing, to just say, no, I'm not going to do that. And I think even with pricing, when I first raised my prices, we talk about this, and I'm like, the pricing that I had was not enough money to actually sustain a life, right? Like to pay my bills. And so part of loving yourself is saying, I deserve to, I don't know, eat. I deserve to go on vacation every once in a while, like the different ways that we could love ourselves. But I want to just get back to one more thing. And it is that the understanding it, that energetically speaking, we are all connected, right? And if we are all connected, then if you heal yourself, you heal everyone around you. You don't necessarily go out and heal them, but what you do is create a space of healing, right? So when you heal yourself, you create a space of healing where everyone around you benefits from it. Everyone around you is blessed when you put yourself first and heal yourself. And it's the only way to do it. So what A Course in Miracles taught me, what Dr. Eric Pearl taught me, was it's not selfish to ask for healing when you're working with someone else, right? And what A Course in Miracles, there's a line in A Course in Miracles that says, how do you know when the client is healed? And it's talking about psychotherapy. And it says, when the therapist looks at the client without any judgment. And I'm like, wow, it's not even about the client. The healing is really right. So if what loving yourself is really about, I think it's a process of letting go of judgment, loathing, like all those things, and really becoming the I am. That is what, the I am, the I am worthy, I am valuable, I am all the things that we want to be, and especially on this Valentine's Day.
Well, that's very poignant and funny that you say that. I want to just say we've got a question, and Jessica says, yes, girl, from Steve Novak, who I'm not really sure who he is. I know he's local. I have no idea who he is or what he looks like, because I have not seen a picture of him. He always looks like Kettle One. But it just says
pretty good to me.
He says, it's 8 p.m. on Valentine's night. Where are all your gentlemen taking care of their beautiful women? I'm really trying here, but you're right. Okay, well, first of all, that's so funny. I thought maybe you were going to say you're a plumber. The funny thing is that love is all about loving ourselves, loving the people that we are around, and loving what we're doing, and being in the energy of love. And the best part about that is it doesn't mean you have to rely on someone else, because it means that it's all about whatever it is that you're doing. Are you loving it? Are you in the energy space of love? And I can tell you this, being with my friends, being with my, my partners in this venture, that if it was just the three of us, I would have enough. And if for whatever reason, neither of them could make it, it would still be enough, because the space that I hold is for myself, for love, the commitment. And that is why we're happy that you and anyone else that's watching is here. So I think that, that to me is what loving yourself is.
Yeah, I think that's a huge way to start. I think that's a great point, Donna. It is. And, to Kim's point, I was just going to say, where do you start? But that's a great starting point, is loving yourself enough to keep your commitments, even when they are not convenient for other people, which is
On Valentine's
really,
Day.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
really hard to do, because
Right.
I got a little pushback of like, well, it's Valentine's Day. Yep, it is Valentine's Day. And this is the commitment that we're trying to make. And there's times where, we can't, like, I wasn't there last week, and because I physically could not be there. I was doing another job where I wouldn't be done on time. But this is like, I have to honor this commitment. If I'm available, I have to be available for this because I love it. I look forward to it. And it doesn't take anything away from Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day, and, I love spending time. But I think it's so hard these days to keep commitments to yourself without feeling guilty. And Kim, if you wanted to talk about that, I think it's important to talk about that, because I think everybody goes through that, where you say to yourself, oh my God, I feel so selfish. People are making me feel selfish, although I don't know if they actually can, or if it's you allowing them to. That's like one I always struggle with, of like, are they making me feel guilty, or am I like falling into that?
Well, I
And
think that here's the thing. It is Valentine's Day, and if you have a partner, that partner may have an expectation. But here's the thing. I also think that if your partner really loves you, they honor that. If you are in a relationship with anybody, or if you create a tribe, that tribe is when you step into your power and love yourself, your tribe will honor that you honor your commitments. That your commitments are important, because then what happens is they know that when you make a commitment to them, you're going to honor that as well. And so, one of the things that I love is most of the people in my life respect that. I think that this time is so important. I jump through hoops to get to it. I jump two hoops to get here. Now, I mean, I'm going to be in Europe in the summer. I may have to renegotiate,
That's
but
it. We're
I'll
done.
I'll renegotiate. But you can renegotiate your commitments. But when you really value yourself and what you do jump through hoops to be authentic with the commitments that you make.
Yeah.
And I do love the idea that it's Valentine's Day, and I'm with two of the women I love most. Because really, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
because love is not always a romantic love. Love that's
yeah,
romantic is awesome, but I think that it all stems from the love that we have for ourselves and for our friends and family. And I think it's just a ripple effect. I think if it's romantic love, I think that's amazing. But I do. I think that it's, like I said, I can't say it enough. It starts here. It does.
right, right. So, I mean, and it's interesting to me that um one of the things that I really do think that is really when you really love yourself, you were talking about guilt, and guilt is such a tough thing when it comes to loving yourself, because we're really trained to, especially women, we're trained to put the other first. We put our children first if you have them, or you put your dog first if you have a dog. You put your man first, or your woman first, or whatever the relationship you are in. And we're nurturers, right? So we get in the habit of taking care of. And so when we put our you would think that we'd be in the habit of taking care of ourselves first, but we're told that's selfish from a very young time, right? We just are. We've been told that's selfish. And I think that even our mothers, or the women in our life that are older, are starting to realize that's not selfish. I think that most women are coming to this, at least the ones in my life. I don't know. I don't know all the women in the world, but I am seeing, I think that a lot of us, and men too, are coming to the point where we realize I think there is a almost cosmic shift where we realize not only do we have to take care of our world, because we're seeing some things out there, but we've got to take care of ourselves, because if I can't help you if I'm exhausted. I just
yeah,
can't.
well, it's the analogy that I know Donna's going to do. It's the airbag.
Yeah, putting the mask on yourself.
Yeah, you got to put that mask on yourself. They say it every time. I just flew this week, and that was the message. That's the main message. If any emergency happens, put that airbag on yourself before you put it on anyone else, that mask. And
Yeah.
I feel like we have to remind each other and ourselves to do that. And I think it's so important to have a tribe of people, like you said, Kim, that really do respect your boundaries and really do understand what's important and help you and encourage you. It's so important. I think one way Yeah, we're realizing that Kelly, I agree with you. I think we're actually coming to the point that we are realizing that we have neglected ourselves. Absolutely. I think COVID has put the brakes on everyone. And I think COVID is like a huge mirror for everyone to stop, look yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, what have I been doing for myself and for others? And what have I been doing for others and not myself? And COVID is like, and I think it's really, really important. One thing that I've noticed is, who are you surrounding yourself with others? Loving yourself enough to say, the people that I'm surrounding myself with are building me up, not tearing me down. Building me up, not tearing me down. Because I was definitely one of those people where I was always like, the more the merrier. I like everybody. Everybody come in. Everybody get in the circle. And I still want to be super inclusive, but I definitely need to be more selective with who I really share my time with. If that makes sense to you guys.
It's like if you were a garden and you need water, and you had it's kind of like what you're saying, and you surround yourself with so much stuff, and there's polluted water, and there's like buckets of polluted water, and there's only like this much. This is more quality. This is more important than having all of that toxic stuff that comes inside, to have so much abundance if there's nothing pure and clean about it. And I'm at the point where I know for myself, what I'm doing for myself and for self-love is to really just kind of narrow it down and bring it in and say, I'd prefer to have less, abundance of, people or things to do, my calendar full. And I'd rather have more of just quality, like quality people, quality things to do. And that's really kind of what you're saying, like treating yourself right, not overeating and overindulging in things, but like really just eating cleaner and experiencing cleaner, I don't know, surroundings.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Like just really feeling like everything. I think you get to a point, and I don't know if it's age, I don't know if it's COVID, I don't know if it's what it is, but you just get to a point. I know a lot of people are at this point. Yeah, less is more. Less is more. And yeah, it's like quality. I think it's like such a major deal about quality of life. I feel like, go ahead, Kim.
I want to mention something because I don't think that we're saying like you shouldn't give and be loving and give
totally
of yourself. I mean, like, I think that what we're saying is we do that, right? We do it all the time, right? That tends to be what we do, is give. And so loving yourself is, because one of the things that I read the other day is, I think it was Abraham Hicks, but it might have even been I know it's in A Course in Miracles, is that when you're like in alignment, you're not tired. Right? Weariness comes from resistance. It comes from trying to be something that you're not, or create something that you're not yet aligned with. And so what happens is we say yes to a lot of things that we don't want to do in that moment, right? So like my son actually asked me to pick him up from college, right? Because he wants to come home for a weekend. He's been working very hard, really working very hard. And I'm very proud of him. If he ever happened to watch this, way to go, Drew. You worked so hard this week. And he wants to come home because he likes that I do everything for him, right? And I'm not going, right? And maybe 3 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I hate my poor baby boy. He wants to be nestled in the womb of his home. No, I don't want to take the 2-hour trip on the weekend when I work a lot, right? But what happens is 2 years ago, I may have done it, or 3 years ago, I may have done it, because even with all I know, with all I've done, I feel like when it comes to setting boundaries with my kids, that's what I'm starting to learn now, really. And saying no when you mean no helps keep you from getting weary. And saying yes when you mean yes, when you really want to do something, you don't get tired because you haven't set a lot of crappy boundaries in the past and taken on more than you really want to do. I think that sometimes, I'm telling you, I've done some things for like 20 hours straight and I'm not tired because I'm so excited doing it. And I've done some things for like 1 hour and they wiped me out, because I think that we get weary when we're doing things that are out of alignment. It's not about loving the thing we're doing or not liking the thing that we're doing. It's like, are we in alignment with that thing? Does that make sense?
That
totally makes sense.
Because I've noticed that where there's been times where I do things and I'm so tired, And then times where, like you said, where it's the same amount of energy, the same amount of sleep, and you're doing it, you're like, whoa, I could go all night. This is so much fun. I'm having a
Right.
blast, whatever it is. And I think we need to stop and pay more attention to ourselves and the signals that our bodies are giving us in regards to that. I mean, I think it's so integral to really stop and be like, how do I feel right now while I'm doing this? Do I feel energized? Do I feel drained? Do I feel excited? Do I feel down? And I think COVID has made us stop and do that. And I feel like what has happened is so many more people feel drained than they do excited. And they're like, wait a minute, I thought I was really excited about this, but I'm drained. What's going on? And I feel like it's a shift, a major shift where people are just shifting their whole lifestyle and what they thought they wanted to be and what they are is so different. And people are really coming to grips with that. And I feel like it's happening now because people are like, okay, we're hopefully coming out of COVID. I know we're still in it, but it feels like we're at the tail end of it. So people are like, oh my God, this is the rest of my life. Now I have to launch and do it. Am I ready? Am I doing it? You know what I'm saying? And there's no more excuses of like, you got to stay in and do whatever. It's go time.
I think to what you just said, it's amazing, but I'm seeing that there's so many people that are making changes in their careers. So many people are changing their paths and focusing on certain things. And what's interesting about it, because there's, what is it called? The Great Resignation is what they're calling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that it's almost as if, do you ever like meet a couple, and I'm going to use that as a specific, and their kids like go off to college and they become empty nesters, and then all of a sudden they look at each other and they're like, why am I even married to you? I feel like that's what COVID did for so many people with so many different parts of their lives, whether it be their career, whether it be their relationships, whether it be their weight, whatever it is. And I just think that I've definitely done this in my past, in my life. You're in a relationship that you're like at that, that crossing the roads where it's like, I know this is not working, and I'm either going to keep trying and make it work, or I'm going to take the leap and get off the path completely. And I think that's where so many people are right now. And instead of it just being about the relationship, it's about the relationship with oneself, which is where the loving yourself comes, back into play. And it's interesting because I feel like if it really is coming to an end, right? Exactly, Kelly. People realize that they weren't happy enough to die.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Humongous. And so it's like, if you really feel that what you're doing right now is not good enough, it's almost as if it's like that merry-go-round, and it's like about to stop, and you have just like a second to hop off, or you're going to be stuck back on it for a whole other round. And it's like, it's that ride. And it's like, do you want to be stuck on there, or do you want to get off and go on another ride in the park? And I think that that's where a lot of people are, because we're going to be really upset with ourselves if you stay on it when you're not supposed to be. And you realize the only view that you have left is that one that just keeps going back around and around.
I want to mention something though. If you're feeling like you don't have the courage, right? Because I know a lot of people want to launch something, right? Like you don't want to launch something. And I made so many changes during COVID that were spectacularly effort involved, right? And now I feel like I just want to veg out. I have just worked so hard, right? And so if you feel like, okay, I need courage. One of the, like I was reading the other day, one of the things it says is wait for inspiration. Do your best. The most important thing that you could do is start to find the little things, teeny little things that make you feel happy. Whatever it is, that thing, that thought, that idea that makes you feel happy. So I'm going to Italy with my daughter this summer, right? She's not thrilled that I'm going to Italy with her because she's 17 and who wants to, but I'm thrilled. She's thrilled to be going to Italy. But the thought of just being with her for a week without, just having that time, that little thought in my mind, I don't know if that trip's going to, whatever it is, gives me such joy. That teeny little thing. It's not here. It's in July. It gives me joy. Sometimes when I'm at work, I think about my dog when I come home and how her backside wiggles when I get home. That thought is enough to bring me a little joy in that moment. If you can find yourself grasping those joyful thoughts, I have them written down, the thoughts that will make me happy, because I know, like, sometimes when I get into a drama space, I'll look at them and I'm like, oh, I can remember that. That can make me happy. Why am I telling you this? Well, what happens is the more you can put yourself on that plane of contentment, the more you will be able to create the space so that you can find the courage to move into what you want to do. It's almost like you need a lot of steps on the joy ladder to feel that courage, because courage doesn't come from fear. It really doesn't. It comes from inspiration. And so we don't get inspiration when we're afraid. We get inspiration when we're content. So that would be if you're feeling like I don't have the courage, don't do it. Oh, Jessica, meet me.
You're inspiring everyone to go to Italy.
There you go.
July. Man, everybody who watches
Meet you there.
Mystics will be in Italy in July. And I've been to Italy a couple times, but I'm going to different Lake Como, where I've never been before.
That's supposed to be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So if anybody's been to Lake Como, let me know where to eat, what to do, where to go.
Yeah. So writing can bring you joy. And I know that you always like to talk about your book of positive aspects and writing. And we have Steve Novak has been writing feverishly to me about the fact that he is the poem doctor. That's his writing pen name. And he said that he'd love to know if he could copy and paste a poem so we could put it up. And I want to answer him, but I can't type. Steve, if you'd like to write it, and I will read it. And if it is completely something that we can post up here, I would totally have no issue doing that. I know the ladies wouldn't either. And I think it's hilarious because
you love.
I'm sharing this with you so that you can see what is, happening, because he's writing and he's just writing. And I'm like, he's really excited about getting this up here. Okay. And he's just like, how do I get on the camera? Well, we can't get you on the camera today. We'd love to see what you have. And then perhaps if you want to get in touch with us, we can maybe have you on as a guest. Absolutely. We are listening to you, Steve. And that's the last time I'm going to put anything up, because we want to let you know we love you.
We are,
but we're respecting our space. So if you want to give it a shot and put it up there, go for it. Ladies, if you're wondering why I was looking like this, because I have ADD what's going on.
You're like, what is happening with Steve?
I mean, the what feels better game, that what feels better thought game, I know is good for loving yourself. And there's so many things that you can do. Music is great. If you know of a song that you love and you want to energize yourself and increase your joy. But I also think that gratitude is to me is a simple one, and expressing gratitude for others or for the moment that you're in. And that goes, I think, hand in hand with loving yourself, is by expressing your love for others.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be all romantic.
Yeah. It's, there's something called a Rampage Appreciation. I've probably taught it here or talked about it. And I love going on Rampages of Appreciation, where I do it in the car all the time. And I do it in the car with my kids. And they probably think I'm a nut job, but they love it. They love it because I'll be like, especially today. And it was really funny because on the way home, I took my daughter to doctor day, and the way home, she did a Rampage of Appreciation, because on one side of the road, you could see the light and there was oranges and blues. And the other side of the road, there was like the moon, and the moon was really
beautiful.
Big. It was beautiful. And she's like, Mom, would you look at this? Look how beautiful it is. And she just was like, and then look over here and look at the way the lights. And I'm like, oh, I've totally raised you, and she was just talking about how beautiful it was. And look there's still some snow there. And as she was doing it, it was getting more and more beautiful in my mind. And that's like a Rampage of Appreciation. Just looking out. You don't have to go anywhere. Just look out in your neighborhood and recognize what blessings.
To that point, Kim. So those of you that don't know, those of us that don't know what a Rampage of Appreciation, can you break that down so that we could actually learn how to do that? Because I think that's super cool.
So what a Rampage of Appreciation is, just so you know, you don't do this when you're sad. You don't do it when you're less than you're content. You have to feel content, right? Because you don't want to reach for something that is too far away from where you are. But if you're in a good mood, look around your house and just start thinking, wow, I'm so lucky that I own all these things and they're mine, and start enumerating what they are. And I get to keep them as long as I want. And I'm so lucky that I live in a house where I could rearrange the furniture. And isn't it great that I have furniture that I could rearrange? And if I want new furniture, I could probably buy some. Maybe I could even buy some today if I really wanted to. If you don't have the money, then look outside. Go outside and say, isn't it amazing that there's all these trees on my block and they're all providing me oxygen? And look at this, the way the snow lands on the trees, and the way that literally just constantly look for the next thing that's kind of cool. And what happens is the world is really a wonderful place. It really is. It's a terrible place too, but we're not going to talk about that. You don't have to talk about that. Don't give that energy, right? The other day I posted, don't talk about how good it is in terms of how bad it is. We know the bad stuff's out there. I mean, tell you, turn the news on, you'll hear it all day long. Make your life a vocally responsible for providing the world with the commentary, the running commentary on all the good. I promise you, if you want to find bad stuff, you can make your life the running commentary for all the good. And that's what a rampage of appreciation is. It's just like noticing. I love this candle thing, like back here. I really do love that. And isn't it a blessing that it's mine? And I get to, and I get to show it to you, and you get to appreciate it, as silly as it is, or the finding appreciation in small things, and just constantly looking for the next thing, because the world is full of wonder. And if you can't find it in a 5-minute period, you're just not trying. You're not trying.
Exactly. You're not trying. If you want, when you're done with our amazing show, and if you need a reminder, Abraham Hicks has got so many rampages of appreciation. Like, seriously, it's amazing.
They're awesome.
And if you don't have something that you're sure of what you want to say, and I know you are correct, you want to do it from a place of joy and at least content, you could just put Rampage of Appreciation underneath YouTube. And I always say that I go to Abraham Hicks, no commercials, or Abraham Hicks, no ads. And then you listen to it. She has got a bajillion. Ladies, can we look at his poem? Because Jessica has already said, oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and let's do it. You gonna read it?
Yes, let's do it. He said it's up, and he expects at least a handful of marriage proposals, but if not, he'll take at least one. So it says, my definition of love is different from the book. My definition of love is more than just a look. For love is more than just a word, more than a song, more than a note. Love is more than just a sweet poem, one that I wrote. Love is more than reaching out to touch someone, just to be sure that they are still there. It is leaning in to kiss someone, to remind them that you care. Love is looking deeply into her eyes and whispering in her ears. Love is hold.
What?
So, the last part, I don't know if we were put on hold, if it's a copy and paste. Steve, there you go.
Steve, it was so good up until there, and I was like, go.
And then he put us on hold, and he left us hanging. And that is exactly what a lot of people do, especially men, no offense. They leave you hanging. So that's why we have to love ourselves as women.
Dang it.
Women, we have to love ourselves, because a lot of guys leave us holding on.
Oh my God. But that was pretty epic up until the part.
That was a beautiful poem. I love the interactive, the comments are coming in tonight.
I love the
and I will say,
hi, Jessica, I love you.
What happened, Steve? It just I go for walks. I try so hard.
He says he likes to go and look there because he does not like to look around his neighborhood. Now, I guess if you don't live somewhere that it's as nice, well, then you know what? You have to do a rampage of appreciation about something else. And you could use your imagination and your memories, I'm sure, too.
What? I'm going to tell you something. I went on a trip to Disney with my kids when I was young, and I loved how amazing it was for them, right? So sometimes I'll go in my head on my rampage of appreciation of Disney World, right? I've been there. I mean, this place exists where they, like, if you like Disney World, I mean, if that's your place, but have you ever been to the beach? If you've been to the beach, go on a rampage appreciation about the beach. I love how the tide just keeps coming in. No matter what, even when it's going out, it's still coming in. That's pretty cool. I'm sorry. Like, how does that happen? That's like something I'd like to know.
That's the moon.
No, but it's going out. but the tide still comes. You still see
Yeah,
the
no,
waves.
it's amazing. It's a miracle.
I mean, like, this is a miraculous world. So think about Disney, think about the beach, think about going mountain trails. I mean, there's mountain trails. Do you know they build trails in mountains all over the world? I mean, like, they just build trails in mountains, right? And they even mark them and tell you which way to go. They tell you where to go. I'm like, someone took the time to put that little paint spot on that tree for me. Like, isn't it amazing? They know that hiking is so important. Someone knows that hiking is so important that they built this trail in the middle of the mountain and they made it so that I could walk through it and not get lost.
That is pretty amazing, actually.
I mean, there's like amazing stuff out there. It's so funny that I said that because my daughter's like, yeah, Ma, she actually said this to me, and you'd make me hike with Life 360. I'm like,
she what? She said what?
You'll make me hike with Life 360. I'm like, yeah, I will.
Oh, with me on her phone, like, so she knows.
So I can know where.
All right. I was like, I don't know what Life 360 is.
Oh, okay. It's like a tracing app that parents use to stalk their children.
Got it. So now I get it. I know.
Yeah. So why don't we name? What about if we name something that maybe we appreciate, each of us? What do you think?
2, 4, 6, 8. What do we appreciate? Go, Donna.
Oh God.
Okay, I'm on the spot first. Fine, I'll be on the spot. I appreciate now. I get to go first. I got the easy one because I appreciate both of you ladies. But that's so easy, right? No, I do. I appreciate. Well, yesterday was my birthday, and I appreciate the fact that my daughters took the time to decorate the house for me and to make me feel special, and it was really very sweet and amazing. I appreciate the fact that I had great food to eat. And I appreciate the fact that I'm at the point in my life that when it snows on my birthday, that I didn't say, oh my God, it's going to ruin it. Because for my entire childhood, every time I was supposed to have something for my birthday or do something, it would snow. And honestly, it would always mess it up. Like my Sweet 16. Like when all 6 girls were allowed to come over my basement, and we had heart-shaped pizzas, and their parents would drop them off, and like 5 minutes later, they had to come pick them up because the roads were bad. And I was like, oh, it was like so sad. Now, Angelique, I love this. I appreciate a towel when you take it out of the dryer and it's warm. I love that.
I love that. Who doesn't love
That's
that?
a great one.
That.
I appreciate dry, warm socks.
Yes.
I do.
Nothing worse than wet socks.
I hate it. All right, Tracy, you are up.
Well, you know what I appreciate? I really appreciate, of course, I appreciate being here. I appreciate you both. But I appreciate the really cool things that Kim has taught us to, like, they're not, I wouldn't say coping mechanisms. That sounds like something's wrong. But the ways we can be really mindful. I'm appreciating being mindful, because when you're mindful, you're really in a moment. And if you can learn how to do it, nothing can bother you, because you are just in a single moment, which is, I can do it a lot when I'm in nature, but I find it very, very, very hard to do in just everyday life. When you're out taking a walk in nature, you can just breathe and just like focus on a leaf or focus on a tree. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm here. And it's just so amazing. But it's not easy to do in everyday life. And I've been able to do that with Kim's help, which is awesome. So I appreciate that.
Wow, Kim. She's one of
a lot of pressure, Kim.
She's totally
no pressure.
No pressure or anything like that.
No pressure.
I love this.
I
love this.
Oh, Jess.
Well, first place, I appreciate you guys. But I have to say, the other day I said something. I was with you, Donna, and I said, one of the things, if I look back on my life and I think about, I've been given this opportunity of, when I think about the way my life started, I ever see those videos, how it started, how it's going. Yeah. I mean, like, if you really saw how it started, if you saw how it started, you'd be like, wow, she's a mess, right? Yeah. Like, she is a disaster area, this poor girl, right? And I think about my parents, right? Like, and how it's going is because I was willing to pull myself up and try everything and try everything. And just, I knew I needed to heal, and I knew that no one was it dawned on me that no one was going to heal for me. Like, I had to do it. And I'm so grateful I was given this so I've had a lot of addictions and I've talked about them a lot, but none of them were alcohol or drugs. Just I went alternate route, right? So
I went alternate route addiction.
Like, have you ever heard of clown porn? That's where I went.
Clown porn. Clown porn. She's like,
right. So I'm in the craziest way. I'm so grateful that I was born with an addictive personality, because that made me just so tenacious. And if you said stand on your head, it'll make you feel better, I'd stand on my head. And someone told me to do an affirmation and I did it. And I read a book about mirror work and I tried it, and I tried breathing techniques and they worked. And I tried all these different things, and I became tool hungry, and I took NLP classes that are out there. And it's so cool that there's so much, we live in an age where there's so much information if you want it. And I appreciate that. I live in that age. And I also appreciate that the stuff that I learned when I was 20, when everybody thought I was weird, is like so mainstream, right? Like it's become so mainstream, and I'm so appreciative. I feel like I was born at the perfect time for all of this.
Why do you think it's become mainstream, Kim? Because I feel like
because we're going through a cataclysmic shift where the light workers are rising up because we have to, because our earth is going through a massive change, and we've got to get with the times. That's what I think is going on. And I think we're going through a massive change. And when I look back at my life, and I can think about, for the last 20 years, I've worked with so many women, and nothing against the boys. I actually have worked with men too, but I seem to attract women. So to work with, I think that's just who my niche is. That's who's attracted to work with me. I put myself as a life coach for everybody, but for some reason I attract women. And I can think of women who've really stepped into their power and that is what I'm so appreciative of. Women who don't contact me anymore, but I know they're out there doing their thing and living their lives. And I had this little bit of ability to make a difference in their life. And that gets me up. That is what gets me excited every day, that there so many women are stepping into their power and really becoming, and men too, and learning about love. And it is about love. It's about when you learn about love and how to put love in its proper place, the rest of your life unfolds the way it should and the way it feels good. And so that's what I appreciate, man.
And I love that. I think we should talk about that, because I think one of the things about Open-Minded Mystics that is so great, and one of the things about all of us, is that we need to work together to figure it out. But to that point, Kim, what are some things that we can be doing to get yourself in the mode of love? One of the things you taught us that we've reiterated several times for this program, and I think it's so important, is the two platforms. So you're either on the platform of love or you're on the platform of fear. Right. And so that's one thing, a tool that I use all the time. I'm like, am I feeling fearful right now, or am I doing this out of love? But if you could give us some other tools or things we could be looking at to get ourselves on that path of love and focused on that.
Well, the first thing before I go on, I want to mention something that if you've never heard this tool before, when you are bored or worse, you are on what I call the platform of fear. Fear looks like a lot of things. It looks like worry. It looks like doubt. It looks like guilt. It looks like anger. It looks like depression. It looks like grief. That's all the platform of fear. Love has like less descriptions for it, but it looks like contentedness. It looks like happiness. It looks like joy. It looks like fun. It looks like excitedness. It looks like, so when you're standing on either platform, you will get more of that platform, and you cannot straddle the platforms. One is like an eastbound train. You can't stand on the train going to, south and kind of have your foot on the train going north. It doesn't work like that. If you are on the platform of fear, the train you get on is going to take you to Fear Town. And Fear Town is
Fear Town.
It's going to be way
worse.
We
talk about the emotional scale.
Yeah, that's the emotional
scale.
Right?
So we have this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah. That's a good one. What I think about, that's kind of like the way I like to look at it, is just thinking about, see how high up boredom is on that scale? That is where, that's how high up it is. There's so many words for negativity and so few words for love.
Right. So if you're looking at this, and if this is the first time anyone's seeing this, if you see that there's green and there's like it's like a dark teal, and you see the word contentment, what Kim is saying is that that's the first positive word on this scale.
Right.
Below it is boredom. Then you have pessimism, frustration, and impatience. Everything below that is all the negativity and out of fear. And when you're going up, you're at contentment or better. It's when you're starting to really get more on the train of love. So contentment, hopefulness, and it's really strange. But when you do look at it and you break it down like that, and you see how close you are to being in a better place. If you're feeling bored, if you see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 under it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above it, you're like literally in such a better place if you're bored.
And I want to mention something.
I don't think people realize that.
If you're feeling a negative feeling, don't be like, oh, I shouldn't feel negative. This world is hard. It's hard. It's a classroom. It's not, I mean, I know Abraham Hicks say it's not, but I really do think that we're here to learn about love. I really do. I think that we're here to learn how to step into love. And there is a lot here that will make it hard for you. So if you think about it as like, I'm on an assignment. My son was going through something so hard this weekend. And one of the things that I said that I think he really got, and he's like, oh, I'm like, dude, because that's how I talk to my 18-year-old son. I said, if you get this, think about it. You have worked through something so hard. And that, my friend, when you get to the other side of it, is called developing grit, right? So sometimes we got to develop grit. And so when you get good at moving up the emotional scale, it's because you've had a lot of practice, right? Like, I mean, so don't feel bad. The only thing I will say about that also is grief is a different kind of emotion, and it really does require prayer from other people's to get you out of it more quickly. If you know anybody in grief is hard because there's no energy with it. Grief is hard. So if you know anyone experiencing grief, take a minute out of your day and just send them stuff. I know a bunch of people. I write a list. Just send them, because send them your energy, and you can actually send it like a beam of light from your heart, and just imagine you send them the best of you. And don't be afraid to send them the best of you, because when you send them the best of you, the way it works is, the rule of energy is, whatever you share increases in you. So never be afraid to send somebody the best of you, because when you send them the best of you, you get more of it. So I have a couple people that I think about, the women that were in our group, and I try to send them light every day and send them the best of me so that I lift them up. And I know there's a woman on my Facebook page going through a lot of pain right now. And every day I just send her the best of me. And I just think, I'm just going to send you the best light I have. And I picture her lifted up in light. By the way, that will help you and love yourself. That if you want to love yourself, send love to other people. Don't even tell them you did it. Just go and do it. That's going to lift you up in such a positive way and make you feel better. And it's free. It doesn't cost any money. And don't tell anybody you did it. That's actually back in the
random
day.
acts of kindness that you can actually do, whether you have not a nickel left to your name. You could still always send somebody a random act of kindness when it comes to sending love and light. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I always think about my first curriculum, because my curriculum has changed over time, and now it's a course, right? But my first curriculum, I think it was like lesson 3 was go out and do something in the universe really good for the universe, and don't tell anybody you did it. And if they find out you did it, then go do something else, right? I stopped assigning it that way because I think it was just too hard for people to do. So then I started making people sit in a mall and send out light to everybody that walked by. That was easier.
That's so funny. That's so funny. What would you say to someone if you knew that they were having an issue or a challenge with showing themselves self-love? What would you?
Well, I mean, start small. Like,
actually, can you send those random acts of kindness to yourself?
Yeah. Well, what I tell people is, what's your house look like? Clean your house. I know that sounds like, really? That's it? Start by making your bed every day. Start by making your bed every day. Organize your closet. Go through your house and organize it, right? Because I think that most people, when you get down, you start throwing out stuff. Start throwing out stuff that not stuff you need, like your money. Like, start throwing out stuff that no longer
serves you.
That bring everything into present time. So I always say, like, it's hard to clean your mind, so clean your house. Start there, right? Clean your house.
I think that's great. I think that's a huge, like, It seems so elementary, but it's not. It's like if you're surrounded by clutter, whether you know it or not, it's weighing on you. I know for me, I
Right.
can only speak for myself, but it just weighs on me. I can feel it. Like when I walk into a room and it's full of clutter, I'm like, oh, I feel the heaviness of that. And just
Right.
to be light and do yourself the service of knowing where everything is, that's like you're loving yourself and you're like, wow, I can't believe I know where everything is. It's like easy. So
Right.
you both talked about this where it's like swimming upstream. I feel like that is one where you're swimming upstream. If you make your life hard, where it's like mayhem all the time, I'm just speaking for myself because I've done it, where I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Where when I know if I take the 5 minutes to put it down and put it in its place, I'll know exactly where it is and I cause no stress for myself.
Right.
So I do feel that is a form of self-love.
Right.
And we all know that everything is energy is attached to everything, and we are energetically attached. So even in what was it, Marie Kondo's book, I believe it was, and
Yes.
even in minimalism, and I want to say in lots of other, religions, and you always want to get, be minimalistic and get rid of things because we know that our energy is attached to so many things. So if there's clutter around, I mean, it's like what you just said. It's so elementary, but it's not. Because if you've ever walked into a room like the one that, like, I mean, really, truly, I have a lot of books and I'm still looking to rehome these books, right? But I'm in a better place with it now because they're all in like a space. But prior to that, it's like when you see them all or you see any kind of clutter, you sit there and you're like, oh my God. Because it is, you walk in and you're like, I don't have energy for this.
Right.
It's because you walk in and it's like taking the wind out of you because you're like, oh. And the minute you start to just like figure out what it is you can do to neaten it up and make it more concise, it does feel neater. It does feel a lot neater.
I want to mention one more thing though. So like if you're really feeling, I'm trying to put myself back to when I loathed myself because I did. And one of the things that happened, because I was talking to my boyfriend about this the other day, is that what happened to me when I was young was a secret. But it wasn't like some big secret, like some big secret. I'm talking about a secret when I was 11 years old, and it was a secret, but I made it a secret. And then I made that secret bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And like really, like secrets make you sick, right? Like secrets make you sick because when you get guilt around a secret and then you have shame around the secret. Now, if I told you what the secret is, you'd be like,
that's it.
Yeah, because everybody thought, oh, we like raped when you were like 12. No, it was just like a very benign thing.
Yep. Shame.
But what happened was I made it big in my head because I didn't share it. I made it a secret. I made it hidden, and then I added shame. Now, then what happens is I got a lot of shame in my energy field, and then once I had that shame, I pushed it down and pushed it down and pushed it down and pushed it down, and then had more secrets and pushed it down, and then it became this giant. And I couldn't even tell you what the original secret was, right? And so, why we go to therapy, why we start talking about these things, is because when they are in our head, we make them into bigger and more important and more silly. The other day, so I'm deaf at work. I've talked about this a bunch of times. And somebody said to me, oh my God, you've got to quiet down. Now remember, I'm deaf, right? So I sometimes forget how loud I'm speaking. And I was like, I was like, right. And I'm like, oh, I'm yelling. Right. And he was right. I was yelling. Right. But I turned to somebody that I love and trust, and I said, I feel so embarrassed, right? I feel so embarrassed. And she looked at me and she said, oh, honey, it's okay. We all love you here, right? But I thought about like 20 years ago no, it would have been like 40 years ago. I would have allowed that person saying that to me. I would have not said anything about it. I would have just gotten really quiet about it and then felt ashamed. And then I would have made it bigger in my head. And then I would have been like, you're awful. And I would have been like, wow, you're so loud and awful. And then I would have gone on the you're loud and awful train, right? Like, and that train would have taken me to very, very dark places. But instead I looked at a friend and I said, oh, I feel so embarrassed, right? I feel so embarrassed. And she said, oh, we all love you here. And she's made a comment about how dare he say that to you like that in front of a whole bunch of people. And I'm like, you're right. So actually, then I had a conversation. Please don't admonish me in front of other people. Like, if and he was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, people don't even realize it sometimes.
I'm
They don't.
sorry.
They
I
don't.
said, I'm deaf. I appreciate that you do want it quiet in here. I really do appreciate that you want it quiet in here. But try to remember that I am deaf, so I don't hear.
I love that you said that.
I know, but wait, are you hard of hearing or are you deaf?
Hard of hearing.
I think that and
I wear hearing aids.
Because if you're deaf, you'd be sign language. You wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So you're hard of hearing, because if anybody's watching that's like, wait, she's deaf, because that's a miracle that you could speak.
Yeah.
But, but there's a book that I read during the time I was reading to the kids that I absolutely love, because it brings that exact subject up. And it was called Ruby Finds a Worry. And it's all about the fact that this young girl goes around and she, excuse me, she doesn't know what this thing is that shows up one day. And the thing is she thinks she's the only one with it. And they make it into like a little yellow cloud, and then the cloud gets bigger and bigger. And then she realizes that she sees a boy that has, oh my gosh, he has the same thing as me. He has a worry too, but they're making it like it's a thing. They personify it, which is really interesting.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that we've talked about this before, but bringing this information to younger generations is so important, because the idea of working on things like this, talking about worry, talking about shame at, younger ages, really takes it from the place of it being a kryptonite that could cripple someone to making it like something that you can function through. And I think that is so important with what we do. And I'm looking at the comments and stuff, and there's a lot of like silliness, and we love silliness. We do. Yeah. But this is something that we find near and dear to our hearts, because coming from a perspective of even like the inner child energy that we work through, there is so much that we, bring to the table by, showing off, not showing, but being vulnerable, talking about the fact that we do worry, talking about the fact that we have shame, talking about that there are simplistic things that you can find that can help to elevate you through that is really important, because, with having the internet, which can sometimes be a hindrance, and finding the positive out of it and finding out how we can connect with each other. I mean, think about how many people are, again, home because of the, COVID and whatever, that had to be alone and home. You really start to sit there and you go, oh my God, like imagine the shame and being alone with it in your house, and imagine the fear of being alone with it.
Right.
But that's why I appreciate you ladies.
I appreciate you too.
Well, I appreciate you. I know that I know Steve put the other part of his poem up there, but it also got cut off too.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he realizes that. So, I mean, here's part of it. Love is warm, share between the hugs.
Wait. We left it off with here, hold, right?
Yeah.
Love is looking deeply into her eyes and whispering in her ears. Love is holding her tight when she cries and catching all her tears. Love is the warmth shared between the hugs when everything else goes cold. Love is knowing she'll still be there when everything gets old. Love is hearts beating faster while everything else slows down. Love is singing her sweet love songs, even if hundreds are around. Love is driving through the rain to help her through the tough times. Love. Oh, I feel like I'm getting like.
I know. And he thinks I'm just ignoring him. But I'm not. It's just that you didn't put the whole poem up there. And we have about
it's a lot of teasing.
2 minutes left. It's a teaser. It's a teaser series.
But I do love it. I do have to say, he's excellent.
No, it's a great poem.
We appreciate you, Jessica. Yeah,
I know.
We appreciate you. That is the key, appreciation. Okay, so before we go, because I know we're at the end, can you give us one last key so we could be working on these things? Because I'm telling you, Kim, when you give us these things, we work on them and they actually work, ladies and gentlemen. Put them in your repertoire. Okay.
When you whatever you're working on, right? Whatever you're working on, like say you're struggling with your weight, or say you're struggling with what you do is you go out in the universe and you get everybody a break that has that. And so say you feel like you're getting old. Everybody who looks old, you say, I salute your beauty. I salute your beauty. I salute your beauty. I recognize that you and I are one. Every face, not even old people. I recognize you and I are one, and I salute the beauty in you. Right.
Right.
Or if someone, whatever it is that you're working on, ask the universe to show it to you. And forgive that person and love them. Send them love. The way you love yourself is by giving everyone else a break.
Okay,
Really,
that's
forgiving
cool. I like
everybody. So that's my 2 cents.
I
I
love
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Your 2 cents are amazing.
I'm
Jerry
writing it
Reese
down.
says, have a good night, Jerry. Happy
Night.
Valentine's Day to one of our biggest followers. And
We
Steve,
love Jerry.
Oh,
okay, this
look at
is the
that.
end of it. Go ahead, Kim, read that one for us.
Love is driving through the rain to help her through the tough times. Love is wishing she'll love me too and praying she'll be mine. Love isn't just holding hands, but love is holding hearts. Love isn't where it ends, but love is where it all starts. The poem doctor.
That's beautiful, Steve. He is the poem doctor. Yes, we read that for you. Thank you, Steve. There it is. Steve, if you'd like, you can put that on Open Minded Mystics page. We'd love it if you'd share that. If you're not following us already, go over after the show is over and follow it for us. Because I know that I believe you're on my page, but I'd love it if you went to Open Minded Mystics and you could share that full poem in its entirety. It is Valentine's Day and we're sharing the love. Right now we are sharing the cards and we do a reading every week. And it's really cool because what we ask is that you figure out whose energy it is that you are just totally vibing with. And we'll go with Tracy tonight. We missed her last week. So Tracy, if you tell me when you want me to stop.
All right, and now.
Okay, I knew it. Okay. I love it. Look at Corey. Love is heart click. I don't know.
Love is a heart click.
Oh, that's funny. Thank you. I'm glad that you actually put that out there publicly so everybody can know that he's talking to me. Okay. I love it. Valentine's Day and I get a stalker. Ooh, how romantic. Very romantic. I love it. Okay. Truth. Truth will set you free. The best way through the current situation is to just speak your truth. Contrary to what you may think, no one will be hurt if you express exactly how you feel. Truth. I love that. Sacred knowledge. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Feel the peace within. Beyond your thoughts lies your eternal truth. The I am presence of eternal love. I love it.
Nice.
Very good. Is it me?
It's you, Kimmy.
Write it down. It's all you, babe.
Stop.
Okay. Positive outcome.
I'll take it.
She's so cute. The sun is about to burst through the clouds and you will soon see things in a different light. Something that previously seemed hopeless will soon be filled with nothing but hope. That's a good one for you.
Oh, I could use that one. That's awesome.
Kindness. A kind gesture rekindles your belief in the power of love. Remember to be kind to yourself. Self-love. That's what we're talking about tonight. All right. And let's see. Anyone
that's awesome.
That was great, right?
I needed that. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Like
it's for everybody out there.
Made that happen.
Okay, here we go. Do it now. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it is guiding the voice of your soul.
Ooh.
Do it now.
And miracle, one of my favorites.
That's awesome.
Our wings of light surround you and those you love. This current situation is governed by a higher power. The forces of love are at work, and all will turn out well. Thank you so much, Jerry. Happy V-Day, Galentine's, ladies. You're welcome, Steve. We're glad you were here. Corey, we had Jessica. We had so many people in here. Angelique, we loved having you all here tonight. Kathy Cousins. Eric was here tonight. We love that.
Jessica.
Rosario, thank you so much, Jessica. And of course, we had Kathy Cousins. I said that already. And I don't know if anybody else was here that made a comment. But if you were here watching us and you're just quiet, or Kelly Larkin, what's up? We want to say thank you so much. And for showing us love continuously. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next Monday evening with another episode live. Don't forget that coming up, we have our, oh, you know what? I think it's under this one. Let me just check it out. Nope. Wrong one. Right here.
What was that?
Open Minded Mystics presents the Mastermind Group. That's right. On February 28th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. It's $20 per session. Each session includes lecture, interactive workshop, and group discussion. You can Venmo me, Donna V, at Salon Gossip with your email address to reserve your spot. Please do it as soon as possible because spaces are limited. Not only do you get an amazing evening with us and back and forth live, and it's like total interactive, you get a copy of the amazing meditation from Kim that she personalizes for the group. So get in on it now while you can, because when the group gets larger, well, we're going to have to figure something out for that meditation.
Yeah.
But it's going to be awesome.
We'll figure it out, though.
Yeah. Ladies, have anything else you want to say?
Happy Valentine's
This
Day,
was great.
everybody. Love, love, love.
Oh,
Focus
yeah.
on the love. Have
Happy
a great week.
Valentine's Day.
It's amazing, right? We're going to dance our way out. Let's get some
Yeah,
music
let's get
going
some,
in
like,
here.
I like
Let's
that
go.
music you had on
Yeah,
the
this
way
is
in.
called
That was
Feeding the
great.
Ducks.
Ooh, feeding
I
the
don't know
ducks.
why, but yeah. You're feeding the ducks. That might be where, and Ryan, this is a new name for us. Ryan Dusenberry. Love that.
Hey, Brian.
What's up, Ryan? All right, good. See you guys next week. Mwah. I feel like we should be like all kissing like it's on the dating game. See you later.